I still remember the exact moment my heart dropped 3 simple words from the bank manager that changed everything. This can be right. It all started on a quiet Sunday afternoon. I was cleaning the house with my son, trying to teach him a little bit about responsibility. We were tackling a mountain of old paper, bills, school reports, junk mail. Everything was going straight into a big black trash bag. At one point, he came to me, looking very proud of himself, and said he'd finished early and had already taken the trash outside. I didn't think twice about it. Why would I? It was just paper. Useless, old paper, or so I thought. 2 days later, I went to the bank to settle a small issue with my account. Nothing serious. Just routine. At least, that's what I believed while I stood in line, scrolling on my phone, half paying attention. When my turn came, I handed over my documents with confidence. The manager glanced at his computer screen, then at me, then back at the screen again. His friendly smile slowly faded. He asked me a strange question. "Do you still have the original document for this?" I said no, very casually. It was old. I think it was thrown away. That's when he leaned back in his chair, looked me right in the eye, and said the words, "I'll never, ever forget. This paper should have stayed buried." I laughed nervously, thinking it had to be a joke. But he wasn't joking. He explained that the paper ran, "Old land document my late father had insisted I keep anti sentimental." It was proof of ownership tied to an account that had been dormant for years, decades. Actually, an account nobody had touched since before online banking was even a thing. My stomach twisted into a knot. I suddenly pictured my son, so proud, dragging that heavy trash bag out to the curb. Then the manager told me something that made my ears ring. Without that original paper, the bank couldn't immediately verify my claim. And worse, someone else had recently tried to access the very same dormant account. Someone who clearly knew what they were looking for. Remeta rushed Ome, my heart pounding in my chest, and went straight to the trash area outside. Merit, the garbage truck had come that morning. I felt sick, so angry at myself. Angry for not listening to my father all those years ago when he said, "Some things don't look important until they are." The next few days were a blur of stress and sleepless nights. The bank launched an internal review. I kept replaying every decision in my head, especially the moment I didn't double-check what was in that trash bag. My son noticed how quiet and worried I was, and finally admitted he remembered throwing away a really old envelope with weird stamps on it. That was it. That was the document. Then, just as I was about to give up all hope, the bank manager called me in again. His tone was completely different this time. It was calm, almost impressed. He explained that they had cross-verified old signatures from my father, pulled up ancient tax records, and dug through historical filings. Against all odds, the truth had surfaced. The account did belong to our family. And the amount inside, well, let's just say it was enough to completely change our lives forever. When I walked out of that bank, I felt this overwhelming wave of relief, gratitude, and a sharp lesson burned into my mind. Some papers aren't just clutter. Some stories don't end just because you throw them away. No, whenever my son cleans his room, I just smile and say, "Ask before you toss anything." Because you truly never know when what looks like trash is actually buried treasure. Thanks for listening to my story, and don't forget to subscribe for more.